This is the New York Times again. It's Sonia A. Rao who wrote this. Federal agents are trying to make Chicago a war zone, Governor Pritzker of Illinois says. Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois blasted recent federal immigration enforcement efforts in Chicago on Sunday, dismissing assertions by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, cosplay Kristi, that the city was a war zone. Oh, God, there's a lot of war zones going around now, huh? Just tons of war zones in America. Bunch of fucking bullshit. And blaming federal agents for escalating a sense of conflict. The secretary doesn't know what she's talking about, the governor said in an appearance on CNN's State of the Union, adding that Chicagoans were booing her on the street. I bet they are. Mr. Pritzker singled out a late-night border patrol raid last week at an apartment building in Chicago. They repelled from a fucking helicopter? Are you fucking kidding me? Try this in Alabama. Yeah, let's go down to Arkansas. Let's do this down there. Let's go down to Oklahoma. Let's try this in Texas. In Texas. What do you think Texans are going to say about this? I'm sure Governor Abbott would welcome help down on the border. Huh? I bet he would. What about Cruz? Isn't Cruz calling out for help down there too? Oh, Ron DeSantis also? Fucking hypocritical. That's where the crime is the worst. Crime is the worst in the red states. Crime is worse in red states than it is in blue states. Everybody knows that now, thanks to Governor Newsom plastering it all over social media. Yeah, the truth, real numbers that are actually connected to reality. Federal agents were just picking people up who are brown and black and then checking their credentials, Mr. Pritzker said. He said they're the ones that are making a war zone. They need to get out of Chicago if they're not going to focus on the worst of the worst, which is what the president said they were going to do. Mr. Pritzker suggested that the Trump administration, which plans to send 300 National Guard troops to Chicago, was intentionally heightening tensions. They are. The administration wants to create the war zone so they can send even more troops in to fix it. Of course they do. That's what they're doing with everything. They destroy the program or the institution, destroy Social Security. They're going to destroy health care. They're destroying everything on purpose so that they can come in and say, oh, see, that doesn't work very well. That's not very efficient. Let's privatize this. Let's just privatize it. Find out how much your water is going to cost. Find out how much that. They'll privatize oxygen if they can. Mr. Pritzker said he had directed state agencies to investigate what happened at the apartment building, citing reports of children who were zip-tied and held, some of them nearly naked, and elderly people being thrown into a fucking U-Haul for 3 hours and detained. Mr. Pritzker added he believed that some of the people were U.S. citizens. A lot of them were U.S. citizens. What kind of country are we living in? He said. The governor also said he wanted to know more about an episode in Chicago on Saturday when a federal agent shot and wounded a motorist who, according to federal officials, had rammed and boxed in law enforcement vehicle. It's really hard to know exactly what the facts are, and they won't let us access the facts, Mr. Pritzker said. They're just putting out their propaganda, and then we've got to later determine what actually happened. In fact, I just did a video on that. Fire 5 fucking bullets into her car. They were pissed off. These people don't have law enforcement training. The National Guard does, but these ICE officials don't. I mean, they're like local bounty hunters and militia guys, Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. They don't have real military restraint, restraint in the face of challenging situations. Oh no, they don't have restraint. They just reach out and fucking boom, hit somebody like that. The guy that fucking just attacked that woman in the courthouse, threw her to the ground and landed on top of her. ICE dismissed him, but they're trying to hire him back behind the scenes. Yeah, just bullshit, you guys. Thanks for watching my videos.